Hi friends, and welcome back to Momentum, the yoga and mindfulness video series designed especially for the incredible team at Grand River Hospital. Welcome back. Today's practice is a lower body, low to the ground movement practice. And we're going to start with one leg in front of us and one leg kind of out into the side. So set up with your shin in front of you and see if you can get the outer edge of that leg to rest into the earth. The other leg is behind you. Both knees are bent. If you're finding this position to be a little bit hard to get into, you can do one of two things or both. You can reach your hand out to the side and support yourself so that you're not working too hard to sit up straight. Or you could even create a little mini bolster underneath your front leg, just from the buttock down to the knee. And then that will give you a little bit of extra space to sit into this shape. Once you've wiggled around and gotten comfortable, bring your back hand onto your hip. Start to press that hip forward and back a few times. See how far back you can reach your sits bone. Maybe you're able to touch it down to the earth, but try not to lose connection with the front leg. So keep pressing the front leg down as you move forward and back, finding the end range of this hip movement. Yeah, we'll do one more like that. And then settle that sit bone back without losing connection here. And start to give some of your weight to the floor. You can move your hand away from you, bend your elbow, give that weight to the floor and hover your back leg. Start to straighten out through that leg as well. Press out through your heel and reach the same side arm away. So get a nice long stretch here. Maybe your elbow comes down to the earth. Inflate those side ribs up to the sky. And then start to use your hand pressing down into the floor, into the earth to draw yourself all the way back up. Bend that knee, hand comes back down. Yeah, beautiful. Okay, from here, we're going to press our hips forward and up. So you can use your hands to do this. Give yourself a little boost by bringing your hands down to the floor in front of you and then drive your hips forward. You're going to be resting on your forward shin. Let's come up and down a few times and test out. Can you be very light on your hands or maybe not use your hands at all? Moving those hips back in space with control and then pressing them forward also with control. The next time that you come up, we're going to stay up for a breath. So press your hips forward and up. Find that hand back on the floor. Turn your chest to face the sky a little bit here and then start to layer on by reaching that arm overhead. Can you inflate through your side ribs, your top side ribs here? Soft inhale through the nose. Exhale, go ahead and sit your hips back and down. Maybe you use your hands, maybe you don't. Land on your buttocks. And then start to kick your feet out in front of you. Hands come behind you and rotate right from the top of your hips here. So it can be pretty easy with this one just to rotate your feet in and out, but we're looking for more of an internal and external rotation right from the top of the femur bone where it sits back in your hip socket. Find the edge of your rotation. Yeah. In and out a few times. If it helps you to wake up your legs by pressing your heels down into the floor, you can go ahead and do that. Yeah. One more time, in and out. And then let's set up with our other leg in front this time. Bend your knee, bring your front shin towards you, and have a look at your back leg. Make sure that inner line of your back leg is really able to ground down into the earth. Give a little bit of weight to your hand and place your other hand, the one that's next to your back leg, on your hip there. We're going to use that hand for a little bit of feedback as we press the hip back in space and then forward in space. See if you can do this just at the level of your hip. So you're not really involving your torso yet. We'll do that when we get into the side stretch. You decide how fast or slow you move. How far forward can you press your hip? Maybe you got a little glute squeeze here. And how far back can you sit that hip without losing contact with the front leg? One more time, forward and back, and leave your hip back in space this time. Walk the hand away from you a little bit. Give some weight to that hand and start to hover your back leg away from the earth. Yeah, press out through the heel. And layer on by reaching your top arm away. Open your chest towards the sky. Maybe your elbows down on the ground supporting you as well here. Press your hand away from your feet. And then when you're ready, you're going to press down into the hand that's on the earth to get a little momentum and draw yourself all the way up. Let that foot find the floor. Let the knee find the floor. And let's do our bridge. So start to bring your weight forward. Maybe use your hands here, maybe you don't. You could test it out, try a few different ways of doing it. I'm just going to adjust my stance here a little. This side feels different, so it might feel different for you too. Just honor that if you need a little more support. We'll go up and down one more time and then meet in the kneeling shape. So shin bridge your hips forward. Go ahead and find your hand on the floor and then start to layer on by reaching your top arm overhead. Inflate into your top ribs. Soft inhale. Long, velvety exhale. Get a little momentum with that bottom hand pressing into the earth. Come all the way up and then sit your hips back down. Go ahead and extend your legs away from you. Reach your hands behind you and initiate that internal and external hip rotation right at the top of your thigh bones. Okay. Start to walk your feet a little bit closer to you and begin to bring the soles of your feet onto the earth. Knees are pointing up towards the sky. Use your hands behind you to support you as you draw yourself all the way down. Tuck your tail and let this happen one vertebrae at a time. Ooh, so you're slowing yourself down. Back of the head rests on the earth. Walk your feet closer to your buttocks. Bring your hands right onto your hip points. Feel those bony protrusions. And if you're a little fleshy and have an abundant body like I do, you might have to dig around a little bit to find those hip points, and that's fine. Draw your attention right down into your tail. Can you tuck your tail under and start to press your low back towards the floor? Your hip bones are going to rock back. And then drive your tail the opposite direction, down into the floor. Get light at your low back. Maybe there's even a bit of space. You can maybe slide your hand back there. Your hip bones rise up. Go back and forth, finding your pace, finding your depth. As you rock through your pelvis. Yeah. And notice, tune into your body. Notice, where is the work happening? So is it coming from your feet pressing into the floor? Is it coming from your core muscles drawing the front line of your body closer, drawing your tail up. Some other place or some combination. There's not really a right or wrong answer here, but it's good to pay attention to what's making the work happen, what's transferring this energy. Next time that you tuck your tail under and your spine presses down into the mat, especially at the low back area, really root down through your feet, press down into the backs of your upper arms and start to peel your spine away from the earth. Any amount. You don't have to go too high here. And then come right back down. So think about this as warming up your spine. One vertebrae at a time, really press through your spine as you come back down, not rushing. We'll go up into bridge 2 more times, so take your time to move through your spine segmentally if you can. And tuck your tail even more as you get to your low back, so you can actually really print each vertebrae down with control. On your last one, do you want to move your feet? Do you want to widen them away or walk them closer to your buttocks? You decide. If you come across a place where it feels like your spine wants to come down in a chunk, you can slow down. See if you can really practice moving through there with control. And once you've landed your back on the earth, pick something to do with your body that would feel good. You could reach your hands and feet away from each other. You could come into knees into belly and rock from side to side, or you could even do some windshield wipers, sending your knees over to one side and then the other. Take a moment to really tune into how your hips feel, how your pelvis feels after moving through your range of motion in those areas. And allow your breath to come back to normal, whatever normal is for you. So if it's a bit more shallow, if you pay less attention to it, that's what we're aiming for. So you don't need to control the breath at this point. And we'll close out our class with one shared breath. Start to let all the air out of your lungs. Inhale softly through your nose. Exhale when you're ready with a sigh. Thank you so much for being here. I hope that this practice felt good in your body. I'll see you next time.